Hi guys, it's almost Halloween and I wanted to make this for All Souls Day probably. A lot of times there are messages that are difficult to give. Messages for people who may have been abused by people who have passed. Ooh. Yeah, that's a hard one to give. Let me prop you up different. Messages for people who may have abused someone who had passed. Messages for people who have lost babies. Messages for people who have lost children. Messages for people who have had abortions or miscarriages, that sort of thing. And when you get into advanced mediumship courses, we discuss the ethics of this a lot. Normally there are topics like that which we don't purposefully deliver messages on because of a group setting. If we were in a gallery type of reading, I would not purposefully say anything about that. If something came up, I would make it a very general blanket statement, which is what ethically has kind of been decided is the thing to do. So I would say I have a message from a child who has passed for someone in this room. And I would say whatever I had to say, but I would keep the two-part very generic. Even if I knew exactly who it was going to, I probably wouldn't even look at that person the entire time I was delivering the message, because messages like that are not something people are going to claim. Like when we do stump messages and we ask you to claim your dead people, who does this person belong to? This is not the kind of message that someone is going to claim. Oh yeah, that was me. I lost a child and nobody knew about it, but thank you for telling everybody that was here with me. So subjects like that can be very sensitive, or I really don't want to talk to the person that abused me. I don't want to hear him, so I don't want to hear anything. Well, that's fine. It's fine. You don't have to take the message. But a lot of times people who have been trying very hard to get pregnant, I actually know a lot of people who are going either almost to IVF or through IVF, and they get very disheartened. And I know someone came to me and was like, I've killed so many babies. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. It's not how that works. You haven't killed anybody, She was extremely, extremely upset, and really ready to give up on the process. I'd given her a reading, telling her that she was going to be successful. And I think she was upset that she hadn't had that success yet, and frustrated by the failures that she had had. Because when women fail to conceive, we pretty much take that on ourselves. Whether it has anything to do with the guy or not, it's, my body's broken. Why can't I do this? Other people are getting accidentally pregnant all the time. No more babies for me, I'll tell you that much. The abstinence thing works 100%. But you can try as hard as you want, and it's not up to me when it happens. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. I can occasionally give people a timeline of when it's going to happen, but I can't tell you in 2 months, 3 days, 5 hours, and 37 seconds. That's the day you're going to get knocked up. Sorry, I'm good. I'm not that good. I always tell people who are going through this process about the time that someone in our family had been going through IVF. And I was like, well, I told you guys she was going to have a little boy. Well, she was pregnant with twins, a boy and a girl. And I wasn't trying to be a bitch. I was like, I'm telling you, I'm right. She's going to have a boy. A boy. She's going to have a boy. And, part of me was like, yay, twins. But everyone else in the family knew that I had called one boy. And it's not like I look it up on WikiLeaks and my sources may be sketchy. No. I trusted that I knew that the information was correct. And I wasn't trying to be like, ooh, no, I didn't even say anything to her. I told my parents, I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm right. I'm very rarely wrong. If I'm wrong this time, then fine. I'll take it. But I'm telling you, I'm right. She's going to have one boy. And lo and behold, they lost the second child. And it sucked. Of course it sucked. It's not like I was like, yay, I won. No, it sucked. I would have loved to have been wrong. I don't mind being wrong, especially when it comes to things like this. But unfortunately, that's what happened. But it's not that she killed the other child. Of course she didn't kill the other child. It's just what was meant to happen happened. And it wasn't in a desirable way. It sucks, but it is what it is. But I told her, I was like, most people, the Catholic faith suggests that life begins at conception, which to them would mean that the sperm and the egg, magically when they collide, a soul gets stuck in there. As far as I understand, and I know that some people think differently, and that's fine. I'm not saying they're wrong and I'm right. I'm saying, as far as I understand, in all of my experiences and all of my lifetimes, this is what holds true for me. When someone is pregnant, the soul of the child can come in and out until it anchors. When it comes out, it can anchor before you give birth, sure, of course. But a lot of times souls are finalizing their contracts. The thing we write before we come down about all the lessons we don't learn and all the experiences that we want to have. Sometimes we need extra learning. Sometimes we need whatever it is that our souls need before they come here. They have things finish up. That's fine. They're here for the experiences of the kicks for the first time, the heartbeats, all that stuff. They're not like gone. They're just not all with us, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain that. But your soul isn't tied to your body at the point of conception, which is great because at that point you didn't have a body, you're a zygote. So if a couple has IVF and they have a viable fetus and it survives for a month and then they have a miscarriage, it doesn't mean that there was a soul wasted. No, it means that there was a soul that was promised to you, that wanted to have the experience of having you as parents, wanted to have the experience of growing with you, that chose you as a set of parents with the possibility that it wouldn't work out. That's what that means. That happens a lot, soul contracts get changed. It happens. I don't understand all the paperwork. Sorry. Wish I had better explanation. That's what I have. So when people have abortions, people have miscarriages, it's the same thing. That soul knew that there was a possibility of change. They still decided to take advantage of the opportunity that it presented to be with you in the short time, whatever that time span was, whether it was a week, whether it was something terrible happened in the 6th month, whatever. That soul chose to be with you for that time period, to give you the experience that it gave you. And when things did not come to fruition, they don't die because they weren't stuck there to begin with. It would have to be stuck there to begin with to have your soul go through that passage again. No, it just goes back to being home because it wasn't anchored in your body. I know that may be a really strange concept to some people, and that's fine. If you don't want to believe that, then don't believe that. I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody else. That's just the way that I've come to understand it, and that is the best way that I have to explain it. But I know that there are a tremendous amount of women out there that feel so much guilt, for the children who didn't survive. And when they have the child that does survive, they still feel guilty about all the other children that didn't survive. And that's not how we have to think about it. We have to be thankful that there was a multitude of souls that wanted to be a part of your life. Whether that was 3 miscarriages, whether that was 12 miscarriages, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you guys were special enough to have so many souls want the opportunity to come in and be your child. That's awesome. That's really cool. That's awesome, guys. Someone took the opportunity knowing full well that things probably wouldn't work out, but they still took the chance to be a part of your lives. And it's nice that you acknowledge that they have passed and that you miss them and that you wonder what would have happened, but you don't have to hold on to that. It's okay. They got enough out of the experience sharing whatever time with you that they had. That's the joy, Hopefully it was good. Hopefully you have good memories and not just, bad ones. Thankfully I haven't experienced miscarriages, but I hear all too often, especially people trying IVF, because there are so many risks involved with IVF, not only for the mother, but also in the future when the child is born. If the child is premature, there are a lot of problems with IVF babies, and a lot of parents take on that guilt, like, oh, it was my fault, we chose to do IVF, right? But the soul that chose to be your child knew that it wasn't going to be perfect. They knew ahead of time. It's okay. Please don't carry that guilt with yourself. So on All Souls Day, I offer you forgiveness. I offer you the opportunity to let go of the burdens and the sadness and the guilt that has been holding you back if you're one of the people that's been affected by this. I wish you the acknowledgement of the joy that the souls came to bring to you, even with the temporary time that you had together, that you were so loved that someone wanted to be with you, even if it was just for a short time. Please, please, please don't be guilty. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You hold on to stuff like that, it eats away at you. I love you guys. Try and go to bed and get over this cold. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.